Meruva, and I'm from the Ashland Innovation 4-H Club for Middlesex County. And this is my third year in 4-H, and today I'll be talking about inflation. So I'll be talking about what is inflation, inflation in the real world, the supply chain, and what causes inflation. So what is inflation? So inflation is the decrease and increase of objects purchased with money. For example, you bought something last year for $20, and suppose that this year it costs $22. That's inflation. So inflation in the real world. Inflation is the increase of objects, and most recently prices increased by 7.5%, a high in 40 years, mostly caused by the pandemic. So this is mostly caused by the supply chain and the demand of the product. So what causes inflation? Inflation is mostly caused by the demand of the product. Let's say many people wanted these new pairs of sneakers, so the price would go even higher as many people wanted them. So the supply chain. Supply chain is the process of distribution of the product. Here are some examples of transportation. For example, here we have a truck, a train, and cargo ship, some like delivery trucks. So industries that recently got affected by inflation are the housing industry, the automotive industry, the mining industry, and the produce industry. The housing industry got affected as prices went higher since there was a home shortage when the pandemic hit. The automotive industry, used car prices went higher as many people didn't have their own car and they bought it when the pandemic hit. This was also caused by the chip shortage. The mining industry. Many prices of these minerals are getting higher as many people are not mining for them anymore. The produce industry. The price of many crops went higher as many people demanded for them when the pandemic hit. So, what sort of people benefit from inflation? Debtors, entrepreneurs, farmers, and upper income classes. People who don't benefit from inflation are creditors, fixed income groups, consumers, middle and lower class income groups. The downside to inflation, it puts small businesses in trouble, doesn't give an opportunity for people to financially get better, doesn't give an opportunity for new business, and affects people without income. How to protect yourself from inflation. You can protect yourself from inflation by investing in like stocks or properties. Conclusion. Today we talked about what is inflation, inflation in the real world, the supply chain, what causes inflation, people who benefit and not benefit from inflation. Thank you for listening. Do you have any questions?
I have a couple of questions. Do you know what goods, like how do they decide on what goods belong when they, I'm not saying this right, when they make the inflation index, what topics do they include in it? Because I recently heard that they don't include food, and food is kind of important to us.
Yeah.
So that really surprised me.
So the question was like what sort of like groups they don't include in inflation. So they technically do include many topics in inflation, but it's mostly like depending on whether people buy them or not.
Yeah, I understand that, but it confused me because I'm pretty sure that the person said that the Congress of the United States said they should no longer include food and gas. And, I agree with an earlier presentation that we shouldn't use so much gas. We need to be, good about that, but if those two things, which are so much of our lives, are not included, then the index would be higher, right? Wouldn't that make sense?
Yeah, it technically makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I must say, it's a very timely presentation, the way things are right now with inflation. What do you think the individual consumer can do to kind of like, you know, bring this back down somewhat?
So the question was, what a consumer can do to inflation. So I really haven't like looked into that, mostly just like banks like increasing interest rates and stuff.
Mhm.
Nice, very good, thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
job.